Amy. Let me begin with a very good morning from London and good afternoon to all of you in Asia. It's such a wonderful opportunity to see all of you. We have an MEPC going on, and I should be in IMO in hours time, but I couldn't miss this meeting. It was so important. So Dr. Sabine, Christine, Daniel from BMU side, PEMC, Amy, Consultant Director of PEMC, and PEMC colleagues, my IMO colleagues, delegates from all the countries in Asia, and also knowledge partners, consultants. It's the first time we are getting all together under this Blue Solutions umbrella. I wish to actually start by saying we were in COP26 recently in Glasgow, and the world has seen and has showed a lot of light on the need of shipping to decarbonize in the COP. There was a lot of discussions, a lot of meetings, and the transport day heavily focused on shipping. So, it is extremely important in the world arena now. And the same thing we are seeing being reflected in the IMO discussions this week as we are meeting at the MEPC. There were many discussions the last few days about the long-term vision of ambitions, what IMO wishes to reach, and also there were discussions on research and development and fund creation, etc., etc. And of course, there are diverging views. However, one thing that we kept hearing and one thing that the countries really focused on was the need for technology transfer and capacity building and technology demonstration. And access to technologies as a word that kept coming back in MEPC. So I would be, I'm expecting a lot of discussions in IMO regarding the resolution on technology transfer, capacity building, technology demonstration, access to technologies, and all that. Now you can see how strategically this Blue Solutions project is placed to kind of start meeting the needs or the interests of a lot of developing countries, especially the LDCs, and we do need them for this journey together. So the Blue Solutions, in my view, is a project that can actually show a real demonstration of the willingness of the countries to come together, the technology developers to work together, knowledge partners to come together, of course, with the support and the leadership of Germany in starting such a strategic project in one of the most strategic regions of the world when it comes to maritime and shipping. So I can't emphasize enough, the expectations of this project, the utility of this project to build the confidence among the global community that yes, we can do this together. Yes, we can demonstrate technologies and solutions as soon as possible. So yes, then we can move towards decarbonization. I think the hopes will begin in this particular Blue Solutions project. So I wish to thank all the countries here who have shown so much of interest in this project. You have been working for many months on coming up with your project ideas, your pilot projects, and et cetera, et cetera. So I understand a lot of progress has been made, although we may need a little bit of more time, but I think the signals are that there's a lot of interest and commitment and ownership by the countries in this project. So let me first of all thank Germany, for supporting this preparatory phase. As I said, this could be very catalytic in nature. So I wish to thank Germany for this. Yesterday it was mentioned, the Blue Solutions project was mentioned in MEPC by a couple of countries, especially by the Vietnam, who clearly reflected the utility of Blue Solutions, for IMO. So, and also wish to thank PEMC and all the colleagues for doing all the hard work for making the progress, and also our consultants who have been working over many months actually and breaking their heads, how do we put a good project ideas together. So, and also of course, Jogi, who has been, and Brendan from IMO team helping me to take this further. So with that, let me stop here and pass over to Amy to say a few words. But from our side, thank you so much, all the countries and other partners, consultants, for this journey together so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Joss, for those inspiring remarks to start us off. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, to this what we call innovations in the GHG reduction in the East and Southeast Asia's maritime sector session. This is actually a reconvening of the regional workshop after we launched the kickoff of this project preparation phase 5 months ago. I know you all have been, many of you have been busy with almost every other day consultations and discussions between the project team and the respective national teams. So this workshop, just to add to what Joss has mentioned, is that this is some sort of a temperature check on where we are in terms of our objectives and preparation for the full-blown proposal, and then also discuss and agree on the next steps to complete this phase, including securing country endorsement for the project in the coming weeks or months. Yeah. So we also acknowledge, as Joss mentioned, I echo the acknowledgement participation of our donors, as well as some of our knowledge partner countries. And really, this is a way for you to ask questions, give feedback on the proposed pilots and options, put forward by the countries, share information on your complementary projects from your countries, and also, if you can already, in principle, express participation, commitment, and support to this project. As Joss also mentioned, the project is made more relevant and timely because, Glasgow Climate Pact has just finished, where countries actually also pledged to work on reducing GHG and other emissions as part of their NDCs, and also there were a lot of support and commitment, even outside of the negotiations, for need for capacity building, capacity development program, tech transfer, and innovative solutions. And for us in the ocean community, for the first time in the history of the climate change negotiations, the ocean agenda is now formally included in the climate negotiations. So there is an opportunity to strengthen maritime transport, ocean and climate policies and actions, linkages. And that opportunity is actually what we should also grasp and capture in this Blue Solutions project. Thank you. And now we have Sabine Letterman. If she could also offer a few words, Sabine.
Yes, good morning and good afternoon to all esteemed colleagues, Joss and Amy. Thank you very much for your kind introductory words and very, very warm welcome, which really makes it a bit difficult for me to add to that, because it already very perfectly explained where we are right now after the COP26 and also during the MEPC negotiations mentioned by Joss. But nevertheless, I would very, very much like to welcome you also on behalf of the German Ministry for the Environment, Nature Conservation and Nuclear Safety to this regional meeting as part of the preparatory phase of the project. Since the kickoff meeting in July, we have unfortunately seen further alarming signs of the emerging climate crisis, which affects the climate vulnerable countries the most, but also does not stop at borders, and also heavily affected Germany during a heavy rainfall event and following flood. So this really shows that we need continued action to avert the climate crisis. And the recent COP26 really does give me hope that the world community can work together and achieve climate protection. The COP26 showed a significant acceleration in climate action. And as already has been mentioned, it was paralleled by several shipping events, but also 2 shipping declarations, which have been launched at the COP26. One called for zero emissions in shipping by 2050, which is very, very ambitious. But as climate science tells us, this is where we need to head to be in line with the 1.5 temperature goal of the Paris Agreement. And the other declaration is a voluntary commitment to work together among nations to establish green corridors in shipping. And I think this is also very important, as Joss already mentioned, that we need to see an increasing number of activities, including pilot projects, to demonstrate the technology and to increase courage that we can achieve the necessary technological transformation in the maritime sector. So the 2020s are the decade in which the world community can and must take decisive action and make progress, and that includes the maritime sector. Even more so because ships and port infrastructure are long-standing assets, and we need to start making the green investments now. And the latest COP also asked states to improve their existing climate targets for the 2020s. So we also need to work on our NDCs and also to include and incorporate national maritime emissions in the NDCs. The project ahead of us may seem like a tiny drop in the ocean, considering the huge technological transformation that we are facing in the maritime sector. But I think it may help to build a wave that will encourage us to take decisive action and to work hard on greening our maritime sectors. And it's also a token of our good faith and willingness to work with all countries on this huge target in achieving climate neutrality in shipping. And in this regard, I'm very excited about this project, and I'm very much looking forward to this initial exchange of ideas today. Finally, I would also thank all the partner countries working hard in the recent weeks, working together with IMO and PAMSI. And my gratitude also goes to the regional knowledge partners, which so kindly offered their assistance and their knowledge to work towards cleaner ships, greener ports, and improved NDC in the partner countries in the region. Thank you very, very much, and looking forward to today's discussion. So I'll give the floor back to Nadine, I suppose. Nadine.
Yeah, thank you, Sabine. Great words. Yeah, thank you. That was great speeches. And also from me, greetings to London and to Germany, and good afternoon here in Asia. I'm presenting from the Philippines, and I'm currently about 50 meters far from the beach in La Ia. I'm very happy about this bigger round today. Decisions on the respective demonstration projects for our Blue Solutions are coming up, and sharing experiences at this time makes absolute sense. I'm also very pleased that our potential knowledge partners are here, and I think it is great that we have both the German Ministry of Environment and ICI to support us in the discussion. And my topic in the next few minutes is, where are we coming from and where are we going? The more exciting part will then be presented by the national focal points, also if we have a look to the technologies. June, can you go in the slideshow and go to the further? Yes. We had our regional kickoff for the project preparation phase at the end of June, with a really big participation and support from the maritime and environmental sector. Next slide, please. And I think Jos and Sabine just pointed out how urgently we need to act to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Growing trade leads to more traffic, especially more shipping traffic, and thus also to more emission in Asia. Asia has strengthened its position as a maritime hub that brings together more than 50% of global maritime trade volumes. Let's go to the next slide already. Yeah. Therefore, perhaps again, as a reminder of what our project is intended to achieve, the countries are using a mission baseline information and targets to develop strategies, action plans, and specific projects to transition the maritime transport sector towards a low carbon future. And with this in mind, we started our national kickoffs. Maybe we go to the next one. Actually, Halim, I was quite excited about how quickly we were able to come up with structures and ideas for our Blue Solution project in Malaysia in a pre-design meeting. And it then turned out differently than expected, but I think we will hear about the reason why we haven't had an official kickoff yet firsthand from Malaysia. We had our first two-day inception workshop on August 12th and 13th in the Philippines with a great participation. Next slide. In all countries, the national focal points have organized the participation of Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Environment, Port Authorities and Ports, and Shipping and Logistics. And on the 19th of August, we had our kickoff in Vietnam. 3 weeks later, after some well-attended pre-organizational meeting, we started with a team in Indonesia. Next slide, please. We were initially a bit worried about getting Thailand on board with our project, and then had gladly our inception workshop at the end of September. The national team quickly made up for the time, and we have already discussed quite concretely about pilot project in Thailand at the beginning of this week. We met with the Cambodian team at the 28th of October. Also here we had a great participation and strong engagement of maritime representatives, especially from Sihanouk Villeport. And Christiane from the donor side has accompanied almost all our workshops. I think only in Indonesia there were time discrepancies, and I'm glad that she also found time to join us today. Let's go to the next slide. I think our national team structures are something very special, and the cooperation works well. The constellation is often that we have a very experienced national focal point supported by a very strong project coordinator, often from the scientific field. One of these strong coordinators has birthday today. Happy birthday, Paul, from the whole team. Very fast reaction. Happy birthday. Very fast reactions are available if there is also additional support, a kind of project secretariat, as we have it, for example, in Thailand or in Indonesia. Next slide, please. We have had a strong focus on identifying a pilot project in our work over the past few weeks. And again, we have defined maritime transport as ships, ports, and hinterland transport in our search for a demonstration project to reduce greenhouse gas emission. So quite a wide area. And guidelines to identify a possible pilot were developed by the international team, especially Adrian and Jürgen were responsible. But there was also a lot of support from Sami and Marco in these meetings. Next slide, please. Adrian explained in his inception workshop evaluation forms for the identification of national pilot project and distributed the handouts to maritime stakeholders and workshop participants. It was about gathering Blue Solution priorities and activities in the countries, but we also wanted to understand where stakeholders see the challenges for greenhouse gas emission reduction measures. In a second step, we have developed a Blue Solution idea list, primarily through the handouts and the discussion with the relevant stakeholders in the countries. And then we shortlisted our Blue Solution options and ranked them by a scoring system. That may sound quite simple now, but it wasn't. And some of the partner countries like the Philippines and Indonesia are still in this process. I would rate Thailand and also Vietnam a bit further along the process because we are already discussing a certain measure for a certain port. There are already feasibility considerations regarding project timeframe, technology, and investments. What now becomes important is a confirmation or an agreement of the pilot projects. Next slide, please. If you have identified a pilot project and a site, I think we are already very far progressed, and it's time that we start looking at the content of the other work packages. We already had a workshop on emission data. Our consultant Marco has put a focus here on work package 1. Next slide, please. We discussed the scope and quality of data. We want to develop national maritime emission inventory for domestic and international shipping and analyze the emission situation of the selected port. And based on the ship port hinterland transport emission characteristics, we will then develop scenarios to make forecasts for potential emission reduction and to update status reports or NDCs. Next slide, please. Work package 2 offers us a possibility, like requested from Sabine, to plan more precisely. There are ambitious targets through the initial IMO GHG strategy and the port resolution that was adopted in 2018, or MARPOL Annex 6. If everything goes well, we have created a solid database in work package 1 and have gained experience from our blue solution on greenhouse gas instruments, so that we are able to support the development of greenhouse gas mitigation strategies, the preparation of action plans or roadmaps. And of course, we can discuss that context, the development of a regional strategy. Next slide, please. Work package 3 with the pilot projects is already well known. I think in most cases, we first plan a feasibility study. We want to formalize the financing plan, tenders, and the partnership structures. And after the pilot implementation, it is then a matter of evaluating the blue solutions. And we need to consider if the measure has been successful and what is needed to upscale the technology. Next slide, please. Work package 4 rotates around knowledge creation and capacity building to support implementation of further low carbon activities. We will provide discussion on topics such as energy efficiency or future fuels and support targeted research. Together, we will distribute knowledge exchange in the region on mitigation instruments and lessons learned. And hopefully, with the IMO Smart Fin Roundtable, we will increase the possibility of follow-on financing for blue solutions by organizing forums for discussion between countries, banks, and the private sector. Next slide, please. That means we have a lot of plans together in the coming years. And first of all, we need to review, refine, and agree on the National Blue Solution Project proposal for integration into the Regional Blue Solution Project document. Next slide, the last slide. Identifying the pilots took longer than expected. An official launch in Malaysia is still pending, and our plan to complete the preparation phase with all country partners in December will not succeed. I'm quite optimistic that we will complete the national project documents with 2 or 3 countries before the end of this year, but I don't want to orate or fortune telling. We can simply devote ourselves to the country's experience reports now, and I think it makes sense if we present in the order of the kickoff events. And so we would start with the Philippines and end with Malaysia. I'm very excited to see the presentations from the focal points. At this point, thank you again to the international, to the national teams, to IMO, and thank you Germany for a very colorful time with the countries. Happy birthday, Paul, and back to Amy and Jos. But we also can get started. So it would be now the Philippines.
Nadine, can I say a quick apology that I may have to leave you all very soon because I need to head to IMO to attend the MEPC meeting. So please accept my apologies if I were to leave in between, but I really wanted to continue here, but I'll see if I can join to the phone on my journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I would be very happy if Sheila Napalang, Assistant Secretary at the DOTR here in the Philippines, can maybe give us an overview about the discussion in the Philippines. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello from the Philippines, mabuhay. Good morning elsewhere. My name is Sheila Napalang, and I'm very pleased to actually work with Nadine and her team on this project. Just as a background, the Department of Transportation has in 2019 submitted its unconditional nationally determined contribution. However, if we look at the NDCs that we submitted, these were largely focused on road transport. That's why when the Blue Solutions project came into our radar, we were very excited to be on board. So let me just go through it. I know that I only have 5 minutes to go through the entire journey for the last, I think, 3 months. So we've had a series of workshops. Of course, we started in August for the introduction so that our stakeholders would know what it is all about. And then we started conducting an online survey so that we would generate a project list. Interestingly enough, on August 31, we had 43 project ideas generated. Of course, considering that we don't have as much time and as much resources to do all the 43, so we started moving towards how do we, and I'll go through that, how we shifted through this, right? In September, we started doing project sorting and shortlisting using a criteria that would be acceptable to all of us, and then continued with the online surveys and small group meetings. Just so we know that this is like a triangulation of the government agencies. We have the Philippine Ports Authority to look at port projects, identification of Blue Solutions project, probable host ports. And then, of course, PEMC had been also liaising with the private sector, Gosong and Southern, as well as Commodore Marine. And of course, the Department of Science and Technology is a government agency, but I always say it's a cut above the rest because it has research as its base. So we've also been working with the Department of Science and Technology for their ongoing ship projects, as well as government priority areas. Our latest consultative meeting was 2 days ago in preparation for this one. And because we wanted to make sure that we didn't show you the 43, I know that would have been too much. So at that time, we shortlisted it to 2 major project lines, and where we actually looked at hybrid or full electric ship project and port charging or shore connection project. I'll discuss this a bit more. Next slide, please. All right. So that it becomes a rational undertaking, PEMC with Paul set out this project selection criteria, and in keeping with the Blue Solutions, it's the degree of GHG and other emissions reduction, technical, political, and economic risks. Of course, we know that projects like these is really not just about technical feasibility, but it's also about whether it is supported by the political, if it's within the political agenda of this administration. Innovation, ambition, and transformative, whether we're able to go beyond what we have been, if we can think beyond the box. So that's what that's transformative. Securing sustainability and multiplier effect after termination of funding, because that's very important, because these projects are going to be very important. So we need to make sure that it's sustainable. Visibility of project, mechanisms for mobilization of investments in climate protection measures, and benefits and impacts. Next slide, please. All right, this is the 43 projects. And again, we're not going to go through that. I'm sure if you want to, we can give a copy of this to but this is in August 31, 2021, we had 43. I'm happy though to say that 43 means that people are thinking about it, right? So you have a lot of ideas coming in. So that's a good thing, but not a good thing in terms of implementation. Next, please. All right, so from 43, we pared it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10, 11 in September of 2021. And then, but we need to really hunker down and say, that's still a lot. So on November 23, we actually met again and we said, okay, let's pare it down. And this came out to like 4 projects. So this is where we were talking. Sorry, this is where our discussion was centered on November 23. So it's integrated port design with renewable energy microgrid and ship vessel operation, shore power supply. And then for the ship, it's hybrid electric passenger ferry, electric skid hydrofoil ferry. The consensus of the body during that meeting is that we will have to consider port-based projects to be shore power supply to actually support our choice of the ship-based project, which is hybrid or electric ferry. It makes sense that these 2 projects will be connected eventually. So the ship type selection could create possibility of linking port-based and ship-based port. Now, mentioned before, if you remember, one of the things is also political feasibility. If there is an uptake by the government agency, the Philippine Ports Authority actually expressed interest in the integrated green port design. Thus, this item was actually retained on the list. The Department of Science and Technology, or FMC, also expressed interest on electric hydrofoil ferries. Thus, this item is retained in the list. As you can see, we still have a little bit of, work that we have to do so we can finally come up with our final list next week. All right, so this is also in the beginning of my presentation, I did say this is a triangulation of private, public, as well as research-based agencies. So the Department of Science and Technology has actually experience on electric and hybrid systems. They've been working on it for researchers on from 2010 to 2016. They've had actually developed an automatic guided train, or the electric monorail. It's actually operational in their compound. They've also been able to put together a hybrid road train and a hybrid train. The Department of Science and Technology has also collaborated with the Maritime industry of the Philippines for research and development on some priority areas. The hybrid trimaran project, alternative energy source using sail for tuna commercial fishing. We also, the OST has also collaborated with Marina on the prototype for e-boats for inland waterways to address urban congestion as a form of urban transport. All right, so the PMC and the OST have had a series of meetings where there's an expressed interest to collaborate for maritime project selection and funding, because the OST has research funds as part of its mandate. PMC is also to provide technical assistance on marine technology, right? So here, the OSC has expressed its interest to look into to fund hybrid electric vessels and electric hydrofoil ferries. And that's where the Philippines is. So a little bit more and we would have our finalists. Thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you very much for that great overview. Yes, I think the selection process was very clear. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, for the good cooperation here. I think that was a big step. We had a lot of ideas in the Philippines and we're pretty excited, and I think we are now really narrowed to a kind of solution here. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Paul. I would love now May-Ann. I'm very happy that you could make it here. May-Ann is Director International Cooperation Department in Wiener Marine. If you can present the status in your country, not so many activities anymore on your list. We get pretty concrete here, and she is supported by Truong, the consultant, the national coordinator. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hello? Hello, can
Yes,
you hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So today I would like to introduction some the procedure that we did when we have a discussion with the PNC and IMO to kick off the project. As we know that this earlier this month, our Prime Minister went to attending the COP26. So at this conference, our Prime Minister have committed that Vietnam climate action plan and commitment to achieve the net zero carbon emission by 2050. Hello? As one of the hardest hit countries by climate change, Vietnam has targeted to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 10% with domestic resort and 20% with international support by 2030. The Blue Solution Project could be the effect international support contributing to the NDC achievement in maritime transport sector. So because of the commitment like that, so I think that this project is very in time for us to help Vietnam to take the commitment in the become true in the future. So for the identified priorities issue, we have, as Nadine said, that we have a lot of the meeting with the many first of all, we have three or four seaport, and after that we choose one of them, and we identify the priority issue. That first is the short of supply to ship and super capacitor application for RTG STS crane at the seaport. So due to this, we choose this priority because of the new technology introduction in the country. So it's playing the trigger role for GHG reduction trends in maritime transport sector. It lies with the GHG commitment and strategies of the government and economic communities. So, and it's also the technology expectation highly feasible in terms of economic, technical, and legal context. So why we choose Cutlight Terminal Saigon Newport? Because Saigon Newport is the big corporation group in Vietnam. So, and Cutlight is a key terminals of Saigon Newport, and is a leader of the container terminal operation in Vietnam, and operating 18 terminals and occupying over 50% of the import and export container market share in our country. So, and it's also a proactive and strong commitment to green and sustainable development, various plans, ongoing investment for energy saving and GHG reduction. And you know that all the leaders of Saigon Newport are very interested in the environment issues. So that's why they are also very interested to conduct the green projects. And Saigon Cutlight Terminal also the port has a Green Port Award by APEC Port Service Network APSN in 2018, and it leading in various national projects such as e-port, waste management, according to the MAPON annexed, and is contributing to the NDC's roadmap of Vietnam. So that is the issue that we would like to present today. So thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, May, and I think the whole team, the international team especially, was very excited that we could find already a kind of site that is so much engaged in green activities like Cat Lai Port, and also the activities are very exciting. So I hope we can fix it and get it more concrete, but thank you very much for presenting. Thank you very much, Truong, also for your work. I'm now happy that Mr. Heru is here, also with a team. I think I saw already Badru Saman as a national coordinator. Mr. Hervindo is normally as a secretariat working and helping and supporting us a lot. And I saw also already Mr. Vishnu, because they already choose a kind of port site they are interested in. So Mr. Heru, I would be very happy if you start giving us an overview about your activities.
Thank you, Nadine. Good morning in London. Good afternoon in Asia. Good afternoon, Miss Jose Matical, Miss Sabine, Miss Aimee, and national focal points. Let me introduce myself. My name is Heru. I'm the head of Sustainable Transport Management Center, Secretariat General of Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia. I'm here as the national focal point of Indonesia for this project. So today I will present on Indonesia's progress on a Blue Solution project. Next, please. As the largest civilized country in the world, Indonesia committed to reduce GHG emissions. Currently, Indonesia has made a commitment in updated national determined net contributions that will reduce emission by 29% with its own effort, and up to 41% with international assistance from business as usual. Recently, the Indonesian government has issued the latest presidential regulation number 98 year 2021 on the economic value of carbon for the achievement of NDC and GHG control in national development. This confirms that Indonesia has truly committed to climate change control effort, and all related sector need to increase effort in achieving it. Next, please. After we discussion with PMCA and all the stakeholders in Indonesia, we appointed Point Tanjung Priok Port as the pilot project for the development of a Blue Solution project. As background information, Tanjung Priok Port is the largest port in Indonesia, located in Jakarta, our capital city. Next, please. In this slide, we have the layout of Tanjung Priok Port. We have a lot of terminal, and currently we develop a container terminal that's still in construction phase. Next, please. We have 4 pillars of EcoPort implementation in Tanjung Priok, which consists of regulatory compliance, management system, green initiative, and stakeholders involvement. Next, please. In this slide, we have 10 focus aspect of green port management in Tanjung Priok Port. I want to highlight 3 focus related to this project, which are focus number 2, air and quality management. Focus number 5, energy consumption and climate change management, and focus number 8 on traffic management. Next, please. This our program in monitoring the reduction of air pollutions and energy emission in Tanjung Priok. There are 2 stakeholders involved, which are the port authority and port operator, that have the obligation to monitor an environmental in Tanjung Priok and report it to the Minister of Environment and Forestry periodically. The monitoring aspect should consist of seawater quality, air quality, ambient, emission, vehicle and the genset, noise, traffic survey, and social survey. Next, please. This our proposed project in Tanjung Priok. As you may see, we proposing 5 projects as follow. Number 1, electric truck or other power energy as the company of Pelindo and the category of the port electrification. Electric crane using super capacitor, solar power to ship STS, solar panel for office building, and hybrid tugboat. And the next, please, and the figure of the each of the project proposed. I think this is the end of my presentation, but here we also have the presentations, representative of Technical Directorate and Directorate General of Sea Transport, and the Chief of Tanjung Priok Port Authority, Mr. Wisnu, and the representative of Port Operator PT Pelindo, who may be able to help explain in more detail regarding the existing Tanjung Priok Port activities and proposed project or program if there are any questions from the participant and this afternoon's meeting. I hope this proposed project would meet the interests of Germany as donor and IMO and FMC. Thank you. Back to Nadine. Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you, Heru. Very nice presentation. Thank you very much. I'm very keen on the next discussion with your great team, and it's a great port also. Thanks a lot for the big support here in the last weeks and in the discussions. Thank you. Now we are coming to a country where I was a little bit worried if they are jumping in, Thailand. They came in late, but they overtook. So actually they are pretty far already in their discussions at the moment. And I'm very happy that Mr. Puripat is here. I think I saw also Damrong Kiat and Tana Pitt, who are supporting very much as a kind of secretariat. And of course, Atit, thank you very much for your big support in all these meetings that we had. And yes, I'm very happy now that Mr. Puripat might present, please.
Yes, representative of IGI, MO and FMC, distinguished delegate. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Mr. Puripat Kirakuntisut, Deputy Director General of Marine Department at Thai National Focal Point. I'm honored to present the selection of the Thai greenhouse gas reduction pilot project. Up next, please. For for the presentation outline today. Therefore, scope of today's presentation, I will firstly introduce the Thai team working on the Blue Solution project and brief on the national policy on greenhouse gas emission reduction. Then I will explain our procedure for the national pilot project selection. Lastly, I will share our view of challenge and the way forward. Next slide, please. This Thai team, after Thailand principally agreed to join the Blue Solution project on 3rd September 2021, we set up the Blue Solution project steering committee, which consisted of various governmental agencies, mainly from the sub-organization of Ministry of Transport and Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, with the International Affairs Division, Marine Department acting as the Secretariat unit. The committee has been working closely with Dr. Atit Pichai, the Thai NPC, during the committee meeting and workshops. We have invited related stakeholders from general governmental and private sector as shown on the slide to provide relevant input for the possible pilot project. Next slide, please. This slide shows that Thailand has been attempting to be a contributing partner to combat climate change. We have recently expressed our willingness in COP26 to increase our ambitious NDC target up to 40% by 2030, with the technological and financial support from the international community. The steering committee had aligned the possible pilot projects with our national greenhouse gas policies. This slide will show the pilot project selection that our committee, the NPC and related stakeholders had discussed the possible project, which were scoped down to the 4 candidate project as shown in the presentation. Then the committee has selected the pilot project by scoring the candidate projects according to the NR2 during the committee meeting on 19 November 2021. The electric yacht truck in the Bangkok port with the highest ranking was selected as Thailand pilot project. That show we get scored 11.29. This slide does show we add the idea of electric yacht truck at Bangkok port project, Airport Authority of Thailand or PAT. All 152 terminal trucks, which handle about 1.5 million TEU per year at the Bangkok port. The replacement of the diesel engine truck by the electric trucks is in line with PAT plan to promote green and smart port. However, due to the port's geography, there are some factors to be considered for technical efficiencies. For example, the truck must be driven in short distance with low speed, can make frequent stops, have adequate power to cross steep bridge, should be suitable for the long operation. Therefore, testing 1 or 2 units of electric yacht trucks under the Blue Solution project would be beneficial of PAT before replacing more diesel trucks. Up next, please. Next slide, please. We currently consider the two possible technology of electric yacht truck, namely buying the implemented technology from developed country or developing the new electric yacht truck technology from the potential Thai manufacturer. Next slide, please. Lastly, I would like to address the challenge and share our view on the way forward. In order to rapidly invest in the effective technology which is befitting for PAT operation, a feasibility study is crucially needed to consider in more detail. For example, the benefits of electric yacht truck, the suitable technology such as using plug-in or swap battery, and other risks like financial investment aspects. To functionally proceed after the preparation phase, the management team is also needed to manage the 5-year Blue Solution project. Thank you very much, Nadine.
Thank you very much, Puripat. That was a great journey with you, and such a quick journey also. You came always up from these internal meetings, and then the list was shorter and more concrete, and then we were between 2 and 3 ideas, also Lamsha Bangport, and I'm very happy about that idea. And I understand also the concern of the team. There are a lot of risks in this activities that we need to look a little bit further in the next days, but I'm pretty sure that we come up to a feasibility study, and this might be a great idea. So thank you very much, and also to your team. It's a great team in Thailand. Thank you very much. I'm now happy that Mrs. Sorajana, Deputy Director General of Merchant Marine Department in Cambodia, is here. We know that Cambodia is a participating country. That means Cambodia will join us in the work package 1, 2, and 4. Yes, maybe you tell us a little bit, Sorashana, thank you that you could come here, about the activities in Cambodia. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. And good morning and good afternoon from Cambodia. And now I would like to share my slide. My name is Sorachana Teng. I am a Deputy Director of Merchant Marine Department. And first of all, I would like to briefly tell you about Cambodia. Cambodia is located in Southeast Asia, and the population today is 16 million, and the capital is Phnom Penh. And we have 2 main ports. One is seaport, and another one is inland waterway port. The seaport is located in Sihanouk, and we call it Sihanouk Wheel Port, and the inland waterway port is Phnom Penh Port, and both of the port is under Ministry of Public Works and Transport. And we have about 20 small private ports. And this year we have the vessel entry about 3,549 vessels. And about the Blue Solution project to Cambodia port, and we will consider Sihanouk Wheel Port And first of all, I would like to can you hear me?
Yes, you're clear.
Yeah, okay, good. We would like to express our interest to the Blue Solution project about the maritime transport. I think that it could have a Cambodia port to reuse the carbon dioxide during the shipping and when the use of the port facility and it will that is increase the greenhouse gas and it will affect the climate change and it will be pollute the environment. And about the port facility, we don't have any strategy for the GHG emission yet, and I don't know if Pansy used to have the project work with the EAS, Sihanouk port. And because I used to email to them to ask for the information, and they said that they don't have any project anymore. And we don't have any demonstration of decarbonization pilot project. And in Sihanouk port, we have only the solar to use for the electrics, but it's small installation and we have the solar security camera and we don't have any battery truck or any the big solar to use for the port facility yet. And here is the view of Sihanouk port. And here is Cambodia roadmap for the Blue Solution project. It's just my imagination. If we were participant in the Blue Solution project, we will have the data collection and then we will analyze the data in 2022 and on 2023 we will create a plan. And then after that we will take an action and have the capacity building. And after the project finished, we think that it's maybe not 100% that our port become a smart port, but it will improve themselves to become a smart port and we will have a green shipping. And after the project is finished, we will review and update the plan or board. And actually, as my study, I find out that we will have the advantage and disadvantage from the greenhouse shipping because the advantage that it will cut down the carbonizing shipping during the shipping. We will have the smart port, but the disadvantage that the speed will be slower and the cost of the maritime transport will be increased, and that will affect the logistic cost that will go up too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarashana. That was a very nice presentation. And I think you brought already the points we will go in the plan development. And I know from the trainings and the audits in Phnom Penh and also in Sihanoukville that that are great ports with a very high engagement in green port development. And I think we will develop some great ideas how to get in this green port development. So thank you very much for your presentation. I'm happy to work with you in the next weeks on the project proposal. And now, last but not least, I'm very happy that Malaysia came in. I would be more happy if we meet more in the next weeks. I saw already Mr. Halim. Jetzt muss ich immer, I always have my problems with titles. Under Secretary, Maritime Division, Ministry of Transport, Malaysia. Good evening. I saw Cheryl from MIMA, and I saw Wahab, who was former Port Training Network Regional Secretariat. So very happy that you came in. I don't know if somebody else from MIMA is there, but maybe Halim or Cheryl will report about that. Please, Halim, go ahead.
Thank you, Nadine. Very good afternoon and morning is no longer there. Jose is already back to IMO, I guess, plenary hall. Yes, a little bit frustrating on our side because we had to go through a bit kind of administrative bureaucratic to start with, and we had a little bit confusion with the structure of how we're going to go about on Blue solution, because prior to that we have moved into GV 2050. Now just want to update a little bit. Okay, just want to share with you with slides presentation. You have this. Just try to search for the slides now.
Yeah, maybe Cheryl or Wahab can
Cheryl,
share.
do you have slides, Cheryl?
Yes, Cap. I'll try to share it for you. Just
Okay.
give me, just hang on 1 minute. I'll do it for you. Okay, it should work.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so can we go to the next one? Okay, just this is just an indication what Malaysia is trying to do, but actually we have make a recent announcement on our to update our NDC committing to an unconditional reduction in its our economic wide carbon intensity against our GDP by 45% in 2030 compared to 2005 levels. This is an announcement made by our delegations attending this COP26 in Glasgow. Okay, next. Okay, what we have moved, how did we move on the green initiative was previously we had GLOMIP with us, right? So GLOMIP, and then the project of GLOMIP ends at 2017. Then later we were invited to move together with IMO, Norway Green Voyage 2050. I think this is initiative from Jose as well. So we decided to also join in, although it's a little bit late, but we have moved, and I think we have moved quite fast on this Green Voyage 2050. But in between, then MIMA came to us and to say about to join this Blue solution. So something which is what we saw initially, it was some sort of complementing. And at that time, MIMA was saying that probably they probably want to become the national focal point. But after we study Blue solution, how this thing can help us out on our green initiative, then we decided to say that this should be initiative from the government as well. So then once we clear, that's why I said we got confused in the initial start. So now we have cleared, and to get you a little bit smile, Nadine, we just got clearance from our chambers. I mean the AG chambers this afternoon, and Ashraf will work on it for circulation of this cabinet paper in order to get the cabinet approval. So once the cabinet approval done, then we can start the ball rolling as what we did in Green Voyage. It's going to be quite fast because our partners, our industry, everybody is coming on board on this green initiative quite well. In fact, next year during the World Maritime Week that we're going to celebrate in February, our team is also green shipping or green initiative from the maritime industry. So I think definitely they will call you in for provide some updates on your blue solution for as a speaker probably. Okay, so next slide. Okay, without waiting for blue solution or green voyage, we start the ball rolling, and thanks to Cheryl who have coordinated this event during our celebration of IMO Malaysia IMO 50 years last 10 November, and we had this virtual platform that how we were sharing and with the audience at how we can put up this maritime decarbonization. So thanks Nadine for participating, and let some of audience know that decarbonization it's already been took place in our industry many years ago, but the only problem that absent from Malaysia is the structured program, the legal framework. These are the things that we are the missing link. This is the gaps that we do not have. And of course, as technology wise, I think many have came up with many technologies, and we ourselves have came up with software where the carbon emission can be measured. So now what we need to know is what is the baseline, what is the CO2 baseline for the measurement. Then we will start to work on the rules and regulations. Which one, where is the bottom line to say that the carbon emission is more than what the shipping can come up with. Okay, next slide. Yes, we have had our discussion last, I think this planning and preparatory phase. So we hope that once we got the clearance from the cabinet, then the project implementation phase is going to go faster than we're going to anticipate. So with Rita, Cheryl Rita, under the helms of as a coordinator, I think it's going to be great. So with that, I think that will be my last. Oh no, there's another one. So there's the next step of what we're going to do. Once we obtain the government endorsement, we will put two other agencies, two other ministries to be also together with us, which is CASA and CATSA, which is and also MOSTI. There are three ministries involved on this green initiative. So I think it is going to be a good focus, and maybe Mima, Rita, we can start off our announcement on the blue solution during our World Maritime Week. That will be great, because that World Maritime Week is going to help on the 22nd of February, 22nd up to 25th, sorry. Okay. So we will continue to engage with our stakeholders and industry players, especially from the ports and shipping, and to create the synergies between this GV 2050 and blue solutions come together. So this is our aspiration, and of course we will continue to work closely with all the international partners like PEMCs, IMO, and also ASEAN member state as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Malaysia. We would be very excited to have you in the project. You have great ideas in the countries. I was also very impressed from the presentation in Port Klang that are perfect activities. We know Mima already since some years, and would be also happy if Mima is involved. So actually we are open, we are waiting for you. The whole teams here are waiting for you to jump in, and let's start as soon as possible. And thank you for coming in and explaining it to the round today. Thank you very much. There will come a feedback round and a round table, but before I would like to ask Georgie, Head of Project Implementation at Department of Partnership and Projects from IMO, to give us a short presentation about the Blue Solution project in context of global maritime GHG commitment and activities. Is that okay for you, Georgie, or if you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nadine. I hope you can all hear me and see me. So very good afternoon to everyone. It's very nice to see you all in this occasion when we are taking stock a bit of where we are on the Blue Solutions project preparations. And I felt that it's very timely for me to come in after Malaysia, because Mr. Halim talked quite a bit about making links between the different GHG projects that are already ongoing, including Green Voyage. So I will be happy to take you through a bit our ongoing projects in IMO. As you can see, between our project portfolio, we have a greatly growing profile for GHG projects. So Green Voyage indeed is one of our oldest GHG projects, and it has been a continuation of the GMN project. Our other long-standing project is the GMN project, which established a regional network of technology centers, and I'm happy that MTCC Asia is here with us as one of the regional centers that has been established. And we have some other initiatives and new projects in relation to GHG issues. One of them is GHG Smart, which is particularly focusing on LDCs and seeds. But as I will go through them now, you will see that all of them are complementary and they all have something unique in them. So I would say that I agree very much with Malaysia. The strongest link is probably with the Green Voyage, because it also has a demonstration project element in it, which is also very much port focused. Green Voyage did take a different approach though. So here now we are focusing on developing pilot ideas right from the beginning. But under Green Voyage, the idea has been to first establish the national policy context and work also on the national plans, and afterwards as a step to do the demonstration projects. And the biggest move on this has been actually in India, where we would foresee the demonstration project to start relatively soon. There's also a global industry alliance that was established under this project, so-called GIA. As you can see, it has a great number of industry participants in it. And right now it already has 3 different streams of work. So it has been giving both advice and also supporting not just the Green Voyage project, but the work of IMO to progress on some key issues related to maritime decarbonization. The GMM project I also mentioned before. As I said, all the projects have a unique element. This one has the unique element of the very strong regional context. So with the establishment of the MTCCs, including MTCC Asia, which is based at the Shanghai Maritime University in China, there has been a great number of pilot projects undertaken, as well as coordination on the regional level on technological needs and opportunities. The GHG Smart project is also unique because it's focusing particularly on LDCs and seeds, so on least developed countries and small island and developing states. It aims to develop a GHG training program, for which the first training we hope to undertake, unfortunately still virtually, at the end of January. And here, the additional uniqueness is that unlike many other IMO trainings, we are aiming to develop a long-term training, which would grow in line with the needs of the participants. So during the first training, we would identify the needs of the individuals who are there and progress with further more specified trainings in line with the RDCs and the SEEDS participants, which also includes fingers crossed COVID allowing us some underground trainings and activities, including in Korea, which is the donor to this project. And here is our blue solutions. So as I said, every project is unique. The way we see from IMO, the added value of the blue solutions is it's cross-sectoral or manner which goes throughout the maritime value chain. So this is the only project that we would have that is addressing not only GHG issues of ships, but throughout ports and hinterland transport as well. So the key added value is in here, the partnership with PEMC, and through this partnership that we can have a scope which addresses GHG throughout its life cycle. I also added Global Partnerships project here, which I know that many of you are also involved in. It's not a GHG project per se, but recently through its Global Industry Alliance work, there has been a study developed, which we also showcased at the COP, which highlighted the importance of biofueling, sustainable biofueling, not only in relation to invasive species, but also in relation to GHG issues. Based on this study, even up to 50% of GHG emissions could be saved from shipping if the biofueling guidelines are implemented. So this is a very important new development, and I would like to encourage all of you to also keep an eye on this. Finally, just to mention, we don't only have traditional projects, we also have some initiatives which are based on the recognition that the most important needs now to progress on maritime decarbonization on our R&D, technology development, and enabling environment for technology development and transfer, as well as finance. So finance is a very key issue here, and this is why we, together with the World Bank and EBRD, established the FinSmart Roundtable, to which I would also encourage all of you to keep an eye on and please participate. This roundtable meets regularly. The next meeting we would foresee in March, most likely during the Economist World Ocean Summit in Lisbon, already in person. And in these roundtable discussions, we aim to find financial solutions to support maritime decarbonization. But it's also an opportunity for all the countries to highlight their financial needs related to maritime decarbonization to the IFIs, so to the international financial institutions who are there in this roundtable in big numbers. NextGen is also an initiative that we launched together with Singapore, and Singapore is here also, so I will welcome them to say more about this. Just to highlight that we like to see this as the Google of maritime decarbonization initiatives and projects. So we would encourage you also to look at the website and to register your relevant projects and initiatives with it. It was developed with Singapore based on the realization how important it is also to coordinate and cooperate between the existing initiatives and projects that are there to support maritime decarbonization, as well as between the different members of the maritime value chain. And last but not least, we had a very specific event that we had together with UNEP. Again, this event also tried to address all these issues that I mentioned before. So R&D needs, innovation needs, how to link South and North together, the ongoing research and development work and new technologies together with the needs of the developing countries, especially RDCs and SEEDS. and how to bring together maritime stakeholders to move together on maritime decarbonization. It has been a highly successful event with more than 1,000 people attending, which also showcases the importance of the topic. And the whole event with all the presentations is available online. And I do trust that this is also relevant for our project. So I would encourage all participants to look at our website on the Innovation Forum. And some of the recommendations we can also already integrate into the project development. Thank you very much for your attention. And if any questions, please do let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgie. Great overview. My favorite is the Blue Solution activity. And Amy, I don't know how we go with a co-share further. I'm not sure if Jose is coming back or how we do that, because now I think it would be time to go in a kind of roundtable discussion.
Sure, sure, Nadine, go ahead.
Yes, okay. Yes, actually at this point we said we have so many activities in the portfolio and so many decisions that needs to be made, and we show a lot of activities in the country. So we are inviting now the potential knowledge partner, knowledge countries, or also MTCC Asia, and also the donors to raise questions, but of course also the countries can ask each other, and we would be very happy if we come here to a kind of comments on some of the activities and have a look in the country portfolios, or also in the activities of potential knowledge partner countries, or other activities. Please go ahead if there are any questions.
Hi, Singapore here. I just thought I would respond because we are one of the countries that have been asked to be a knowledge partner for PEMC and Blue Solutions. So if you like, I can share a bit about Singapore's efforts. I think we've heard a lot about great presentations from so many parties in this meeting. And it's great to be here with friends from IMO and the MTCCs, and especially from our fellow neighbor countries in this region. I thought we would just share a bit about Singapore's approach to decarbonization, as part of a knowledge sharing exercise, and also about NextGen, which Georgie kindly introduced, and hopefully we can also see some partnership between the Blue Solutions stakeholders and NextGen to support the overall effort. So just to share a bit about Maritime Singapore, I thought it would be useful to share a bit about our overall approach. I think all the countries have shared about the efforts that they are making towards the NDCs and the overall IMO GHG targets. In Singapore, we're doing the same thing. We've got a three-pronged strategy. Firstly, we focus on our efforts in the domestic maritime sector. So we are looking to convert our hovercraft and small boats within the port to run on sustainable energy like electrification and ammonia. And we are also looking to develop our port terminals. So like many of the Blue Solutions colleagues here, like in Cat Lai Port and so on, we are looking to develop a next generation green port at our Tuas ecosystem. So we are looking to go into electrification, into AGVs, automation, and also a digital port to reduce emissions while at berth. And then we're also promoting carbon accounting to local maritime companies. So I think a few colleagues also mentioned about the importance of reporting your GHG emissions and also monitoring things like noise and so on, underwater pollution. So we're looking at that. On the international front, we are looking a lot at how we can support ocean-going vessels to go green. So we are looking at developing ecosystems of future fuels, whether it's ammonia, hydrogen, and so on. And at the IMO, we are working very closely with fellow member states, and I think all our member states here, to look at solutions for mid and long-term measures, whether it's a carbon levy or it's a kind of fuel standard, to keep the options open to move us all towards the 2050 targets. And then, of course, we look at the last prong, which is on R&D as well as green financing. As Georgie mentioned, for FinSmart, finance is a key part of this green transition. So we look at financing trials for new fuels, pilots and joint development projects, as well as looking for research opportunities for our institutes of higher learning. Yeah. So that's just a short introduction. And I wanted to share a bit more about NextGen specifically, because NextGen is a very important project that we've undertaken with the IMO. So like Blue Solutions, I think we created this project because we realized that, there is a gap, information gap, and also a technology gap. And we wanted to bring different partners together to really build the stakeholder networks and ensure that we can ensure capacity building and technology transfer. We want to avoid resource duplication and also bring to the spotlight different projects that all the different countries and developing countries especially are doing in different parts of the world. So we have this website, NextGen, which is actually a dynamic and interactive resource website, like what Georgie mentioned, and I'll share with you the link shortly. It actually maps out all the projects across the world. So if you can see this network, every single pin there is a project, and it shows who is involved in the project, which companies, and what are the aims, the funding, and the timeline, and so on. And we also have events, right? So we plan tools and events to expand this information sharing. So a bit like what we are doing today in the Blue Solutions network. And we've actually also featured Blue Solutions as a project on NextGen. So we are very happy to have shared about this project from IMO colleagues, and we put all the various parties involved on the site. So we've already got a basis for that, and we've described the preparatory phase of Blue Solutions, and we're happy to update that as we go along as the countries develop various pilot projects. So we wanted to share a bit about how NextGen can support Blue Solutions and can support the various countries that are here today. We want to actually profile and shed the spotlight on all the various projects that you've been doing, right? There are so many projects, so many great ideas. I saw 43 projects from the Philippines. We love to spotlight some of those projects. And on the portal, we already have 150 projects, and you can submit your projects that you're already doing to us through the portal. There is a very simple form that you can fill in. And we also hope to have all of you join us at a NextGen engagement session in 2022 so that we can network and share ideas on inclusive decarbonization. And then the last idea that we have is we are hoping next year to move NextGen to the next phase, which is to develop problem statements and use cases for maritime decarbonization. So we want to work with partners like yourselves to develop these ideas and to find out specifically what are the problems that countries are facing in different parts of the world and connect them with solution providers. So that's the next phase of our project, and we will be coming up with more information about this very soon. So we can find out more about NextGen on our site. It's nextgen.imo.org. And we've also got the launch and press coverage in the links. And if you have any questions or you want to get involved, please contact us through the website, or you have my email here together with Georgie's email. So we are glad to partner IMO as always on this project. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and happy to be here to be part of this Blue Solutions network. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Singapore. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lim. That I think we can use that web page already now. And one of our targets is also in the project development that we're strengthening existing networks. And this is exactly where we will jump in with our activities. We want to force a knowledge exchange in the region and also worldwide. So this fits perfectly together, I think, with the Blue Solutions. And I would be also happy if we maybe hear something from Ruan, maybe a feedback or also something about the MTCC Asia activities. Please, Ruan, take the floor.
Thank you very much, Martin, and all distinguished guests. And very nice to see you. Some of them we see, from the line. I'm very much, honored to be invited to attend this very important and very meaningful meeting here. And first of all, I would congratulate you on all the achievements made by the different, countries and partners in this program. And it's really a very good opportunity for me to learn, from all those experience and also, efforts. Very nice. And for MTCC Asia, what I want to report at this moment is that we are continuing, behaving, a contributor in this area in the region under the leadership of IMO, and also we are also sponsored by EU. So we are continuing behaving, in the respect of the technical, providers for GHG technologies, and also we provide the online courses, GHG courses under the pandemics, and we provide a series of workshops, conferences, and seminars through meeting and also training courses. So this is what we are doing, and also we are doing a lot of technological researches. Okay, I have one page. I just, to save time for all of you, I just show you one page. Nothing if I can show it to you.
Best is to you share it to everybody.
Yeah.
June, is there any support that you can give him in giving
no, actually I have it. No. Sorry about that, but I don't know how to do. I'm sorry about it.
No, I'm sorry. We should have asked you before for a slide.
Oh yeah, I got it. You get it?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, just want to show one slide for you. Actually, it is the concept of this MTCC Asia, to make contributions to GHG reductions. And first, you can see here that we, of course, focus on the hardware, so-called, the technologies. And technologies is the key, how can I say, the productiveness. So you can see that and the monitoring system, we built up a global ship energy GHG reduction, emission monitoring systems through EAS and other data, and ships data, etc., etc. Before, and we have been running this system for 3 to 4 years already. So you find it. We will use it for future for assessment and the consultancy purpose. And also we are doing now actually using the just-in-time system. Actually, it is of course also based on the technologies, the data, and all these kind of information technologies. So just in time, the way we are doing is different from I think general concept of GIT. We are doing in a very much quantitative way, which means we rely on the technologies, not only qualitative way. So this is a second very important technologies here in Asia, and also we are exploring the new technologies based on the versus performance evaluation. So it means that we use a solution for GHG reduction based on the ship's movement together with the environmental data and information. So we hope that this technology is to be cooperated with intelligent shipping, as we know that mass will be future in the industry. And also we product, so we produce online courses and subjects for the GHG reduction purpose. So we put all of them into the training courses, and this is also the new one. And we are doing also white paper to check the latest development of the GHG technologies. I like the distinguished guests from Singapore. The next gen is quite also conductive. For us. So this is something we are doing as well. The last one is that we hope that we can develop the GHG standard guidelines for operation purpose, based on our technologies and also experience in training and education. So like this one. Thank you very much, Nati. And lastly, let me please allow me to use this good opportunity to thank all of you. First, we should thank IMO, for a series of efforts made for the reduction of the GHG. In particular, we are facing with challenges, and initial strategy have to be, revised maybe in the year 2023. We have a long way to go. And also, we would like to thank by this opportunity, all the partners and stakeholders in this region, because we, over the years, since the establishment of MTCC Asia, we've been working very closely with, the Asian countries. Halim, we see some very familiar faces in PA, and Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam and Philippines, etc., etc. So this is a good opportunity to thank them, and also we look forward to future cooperations as well. And also, Natin, thank you very much, for involving us. We hope that MTCC Asia can consolidate or enhance the relationship with you, so that for the realization of the common goal of GHG reduction. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. I remember our meeting, I think it was maybe 2 years ago in Myanmar, also with the region. I remember also Indonesia was there, and the Philippines were there, and we discussed already greenhouse gas emission technology and the maritime concept. It was a very good workshop that you had there. And yes, if we can arrange something like that again, I think that would fit very well in our project and also in the activities. And we would be very happy about your support as MTC Asia. Thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I lost a little bit the overview. I would be happy if the donor side is also giving a kind of comment or reaction. Yes, Sabine, I would be very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you, everybody. I'd love to do that, but just wanted to give the opportunity to the knowledge partners first before jumping in. First of all, I would like to say it's great and also partially overwhelming to see so many good ideas being brought forward here, and also the enthusiasm and the buy-in of all the local partners, which is very, very encouraging. As you are now entering a critical phase of the project, which is sort of narrowing down the options and decision-making, it's also difficult for me to give you specific advice on that, because we as donors, we don't know your specific situations as good as you do. So you're the experts there. And it's really up to you to decide what works best in your specific circumstances, taking the GHG reduction potential into account, as well as the technological and economic feasibility of the pilot projects. So you definitely know your countries best, and I'm very happy with the ideas that have been put on the table today. I'm especially happy to see so many ideas regarding electrification. may it be trucks or tugboats or using shoreside electricity. And that is because we know that use of electricity is the most efficient way of using energy. It also has some side benefits like reducing air pollutants in ports, or reducing noise emissions. And I've also heard today that some of you also do monitoring in ports regarding these emissions. So you will certainly see some side benefits there if you're going in the direction of electrification. But we also know that using electricity is in terms of GHG reductions only as good as the electricity that is used. So the electricity that is in the national electricity mix. And we are all aware that we need to green our electricity mixes. And that's a difficult task ahead of all countries. Germany is also struggling to do that. And with the new government that is entering or coming into place this week, we've seen that there is a strong commitment here in Germany to increase the renewable electricity in the mix up to 80% by 2030. So this is a huge undertaking, and we are definitely having to do our homework there. So that's, I think, important to keep in mind when it comes to electrification. But nonetheless, I think this is the way forward, because electrification is, where possible, the future. So taking this into account, I would simply like to encourage you to maybe look into diversification. So if there's an opportunity to, let's say, electrify trucks in one port and maybe use shoreside electricity in another, and maybe even electric tugboats in a third port, I think that would be ideal to gather knowledge on the different technologies and share the experiences made among the partner countries. And I would also like to encourage you to look towards the Green Voyage project that has been mentioned by Georgie when it comes to pilot projects. So there seem to be a lot of similarities there. And also when it comes to developing roadmaps, which could be submitted to the IMO also in the form of national action plans. So to really harvest the knowledge that is being made in the different projects and share the experiences. And finally, I think, as I said in my opening remarks, the different projects are all tiny drops in the oceans, and we have to combine all these initiatives to create a wave. And I think the FinSmart Roundtable could be very valuable in that, by providing funding to your countries for upscaling of these technologies after you found the pilot projects sort of worthy for further development. So these are some rather general remarks, which I hope will be of assistance in taking further decisions. And if you have further questions or would like to discuss, I'd be happy to do that. But for now, I think I'll leave it at that and give back to Nadine or maybe other knowledge partners who would like to come in. Thank you very much for today's exchange of views. It was very, very great to hear all these excellent ideas.
Thank you, Sabine. I think a lot of people who worked hard on the ideas are now happy or released. Yes, we try to have different projects in different ports or shipping areas. And let's see in the next weeks. But I think we will try to get your opinion more often in the next weeks also. If we come closer to a decision, we might come up to ICI and to BMU and ask, is that okay? Are you fine with that? Is that the direction? Getting your opinion, that is also important for us. We were also considering if maybe Germany or the EU is jumping in as a potential knowledge partner. So maybe we take it also like this, would be an idea that we can consider. My question is now, of course, we can also exchange questions between the countries. And I saw also in the emails from the last weeks that somebody from Korea might be here. And I'm not sure about Japan, but I was pretty sure that somebody also from Korea is joining. Is there somebody who will give us some comment?
Nadine, I'm not sure that the Korean colleagues could join. Informally, I've been told that they are very busy with our ongoing current GAG meetings, so with the MEPC, but that they would like to have the slides and an opportunity to reflect later. I know that they were aiming, but they did say that they are not sure that they can join.
Actually, Subin is here from the Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries. We had a chat and she said she is in a listening mode because she was just requested by the colleagues, the IMO focal point in the same ministry to attend because they are at the MEPC. But I'm grateful that Subin is here and I think she's taking notes and she's taking in all the suggestions and comments, and we'll talk to her counterparts in the IMO focal point division so that they could talk and work together on a potential engagement for this project. It's still up for discussion at this point. That's right, Subi, no? Who's here?
Yeah, busy. Before I give back to Georgie and Amy to end the session, last question, is there any comment, any further activity, any questions from country to country partner or something that we can support here? Otherwise, I would say thank you very much for the great work together in the last weeks or last months. Meanwhile, I hope we will finish the project documents pretty quickly together with the international team. Thanks at this part to Zabi from IMO, to Marco, our emission specialist, to Adrian and to Jürgen for the big work together with the countries. Thanks a lot. I hope we will have more such meetings and maybe more exchange. And thank you very much from the donor side and the potential knowledge partner. And I give back to IMO and PEMC. Thank you.
I will be very quick from my side, but maybe Amy, you would like to go first?
Okay, if you want to do that, Georgie. Yeah, it was a good stock-taking exercise to know where participating countries are on the project preparation. Obviously, some are already close to the finish line, while others are still in the starting line. But I think at some point we need to narrow down these gaps, narrow and refine, and have projects concretely. And also we'll need to review timelines in terms of submissions, you know. Well, the aim is that by the end of the year, we would have some concrete, pretty solid pilots from the 5 participating countries. Also pleased to know about the complementary projects that Georgia, Singapore, and Korea are doing on even China, MTCC China, in terms of capacity building, knowledge and solutions. And I think Sabine has pointed out, I had the same impression, the Green Voyage, I think there's a large complementarity, as well as the FinSmart project as well. My plea is that I hope the next time we meet as a formally like this, we would already be talking about, describing the regional project proposal, and then also getting countries on their letters of signing on to this project, having their letters of endorsement. So I thought that would be the next formal regional workshop. But I think we still need some interaction between countries, among countries, between the project team and some of the participating countries as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, a big thank you from IMO side too. And again, sorry that Jos cannot be here to close. But I do know that he's been also very excited to see the great developments, and a lot has been done. So let me also say that many of this, and Malaysia knows who's part of the Green Voyage, many of this work is done during the project implementation in much more longer time than it has been done here. So just a big congratulations to all of you. And it's really great to see the ideas. I do agree we could also look at a bit at diversification, but I think it's also very important to note that these are project and pilot ideas that we focused on, and we will have to make sure, of course, in the project document that there's some flexibility, because at the end of the day we are testing new technologies. So when during the implementation things change, we will have to make sure in the project risk management framework that we can change and we have alternative ideas. But from my side, my recommendation would be that we concretize as much as we can our plans. And then we just note that man has plans and things may change, and then we have to deal with these changes during the implementation phase. I also took note of the interest in the FinSmart Roundtable and the potential it has for the project. So we will be happy to share more on this and share with all of you the material that has been developed so far by FinSmart, and you are all encouraged to participate in the next roundtable, both the implementing partner countries and also Germany. So we would love to see you there. Also special thanks for the knowledge partner countries and MTCC Asia that has been here. You will have a key role. Also MTCC Asia will have an important role to do the link both with Green Voyage and the GMN ongoing projects of IMO. So I think that it has been a great taking stock meeting, and it even brought us some new ideas. And thank you again very much for everyone, and a big congratulations from our side for the work that has been done until now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry that I need to jump in again. Maybe we can make one picture. It's always a kind of hard to get the pictures together, but we are still a lot of people here. I know that Sheila from the Philippines needed to go, but maybe June, can you do that, or is that a bigger work?
No, it's okay.
Okay, great. Then I would love to do a kind of picture with the participants.
I would like to request everyone to open their camera.
Now we see a lot of sleeping people.
Okay, I will count to 3.
Thailand 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. And another one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, June. Thank you, and sorry, Georgie, Amy, say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Share the
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Nadine. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Zaman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Pak Heru. Thank you, Pak Wisnu, Pak Stepanus,
Terima kasih.
Maturun,
Thank you,
Bapak Ibu semua.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Bye.